A girl marries a rich mafia boss, and this starts an epic romance. But soon, her husband's dark past tears them apart. We'll find out what happens next in today's recap of the erotic thriller 365 Days, This Day. Make sure to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this one. Now, let's get on with the video. The film starts in Sicily, where Laura and Massimo are making love to each other just before their wedding. They're interrupted by Laura's best friend Olga, who tells the couple to wait until the wedding is over, or they'll ruin their dresses. After Massimo leaves, Olga asks Laura if she really loves Massimo, who is a renowned mafia boss. Laura assures her best friend that she loves the man and really wants to spend her life with him. After that, Laura walks into the chapel, where Massimo is eagerly waiting with all the guests. After the ceremony, Massimo leaves with his wife and drives in his supercar to a luxury resort. They're both masochists, so Laura ties Massimo to a chair and teases him for a bit before he jumps onto the bed and starts making love to her. They spend the next few days playing golf and enjoying romantic evenings at the beach. When they finally return home, they're shocked to find out that Olga is having a relationship with Massimo's cousin Dom. That evening, Laura tells Olga that she doesn't know what her husband really wants, and sometimes it feels like she disappoints him. Olga tells her that she should only worry about trying her best and let Massimo do his part. So Laura decides to fulfill all of Massimo's fantasies that night as they spend a steamy evening together. The next morning, Laura doesn't want to leave the bed, but Massimo tells her that the honeymoon is over, and now he has to take responsibility for his gang since he's the boss. The answer is a little disappointing for Laura, but she wants to enjoy life, so she asks Olga to accompany her on a trip that Massimo arranged for her. The two friends enjoy the long drive, and when they get to this exotic island, they start talking about their past. They're both from Poland and remember how they used to live simple lives. After walking along the beach, they go to a restaurant to have supper, but as soon as the food arrives, Olga sees Massimo's men. Massimo and Dom get there and ask the girls to leave with them, but Laura tells her husband she doesn't want to leave. This makes Massimo a little angry, and he asks her again, but this time in a stern tone. So both girls leave, and later on Laura and Massimo are standing on the side of the road when Laura reminds her husband that she isn't a toy. She tells him that she loves him even with all his flaws, but she won't become a trophy wife who gets to do nothing in her life. He tells her that the only reason he wanted her to leave was to keep her safe. However, Laura is still upset with him as they drive back to their house. The next day, Laura is looking at the gardens around the villa when she meets Nacho, who is the new gardener. Nacho is a good-looking guy, and Laura is clearly attracted to him, and she offers him a glass of water. They both start talking, and there's a clear connection between them. Laura even shares with him how she feels useless ever since she got married, because now she can't even chase her own dreams and passion. Nacho, on the other hand, reminds her that she is lucky to have all of these luxurious things, and that she should be grateful for them. After thanking her for the water, he returns to his work, but Laura's eyes are still fixated on him. A few days later, Laura is celebrating Christmas with her husband and her parents, who have come to Sicily from Poland. Everyone is having a great time exchanging gifts, and this is when Massimo hands Laura a file. The file is his Christmas gift for his wife, and when Laura opens it, she's speechless to see that it's the papers for a company that Massimo has bought for her. He tells her that he wants her to chase her dreams, and since she loves fashion, he bought a fashion company for her. Laura is over the moon after seeing this, and she promises to return this generous gift with an experience that Massimo will never forget. But before they can leave, Dom proposes to Olga, and she nearly faints after seeing the ring. Everyone congratulates them, and as the party ends, Massimo is waiting for his wife. But this is when he receives a text from Laura that contains some directions. Massimo follows these directions and gets to a small shed where Laura has created an erotic room for him. That night, she lets him use all kinds of intimate toys as they make love like two wild animals. The next morning, they're laying in bed when Laura asks Massimo if he ever feels lonely since he doesn't have any family. He tells her that he actually has a brother, but he doesn't want to talk about him. Laura, on the other hand, wants to know about her husband's only family, and when he leaves her without telling her more, she gets upset. That day, Laura and Olga go to check out the company that Massimo bought. and there they get new dresses for themselves. In the evening, Laura is attending a party with Massimo, but she tells him that she wants to leave since she isn't enjoying herself. Her behavior is frustrating for Massimo, and he leaves her behind to meet a business associate. This pisses off Laura even more, but she does enjoy the company of her parents, who are having the time of their lives. The couples are dancing on the floor when through all of this, Laura spots her husband, who is going somewhere with Anna, who's the daughter of another gang leader. Laura follows them, and inside her room she finds her husband making love to Anna, and this breaks Laura's heart. She immediately leaves the party, and outside the hotel she comes across Nacho, who's also leaving. Laura joins him and they drive until morning before stopping on the side of the road. Laura tells Nacho about everything that happened and how she just wants to get away from Sicily. He offers to take her to his hometown, and she agrees. She tells her parents that she's just leaving to get away from Massimo before getting rid of her phone. After that, Laura goes with Nacho, who takes her to his beach house. Nacho is a really nice guy who tells her that she can stay with him as long as she wants. Meanwhile, Laura's mom is angry at Massimo, and she tells him to find her daughter. Massimo is also worried sick about his wife, and he tells Dom to look for her all over Sicily. But Laura is actually having a great time with Nacho and his sister as they drink beers while sitting around the beach. But while Laura is enjoying her time with Nacho, Massimo meets with Anna, who tells him that he should have never married a foreigner. Anna has always wanted Massimo, and she still wants to be with him, but he tells her that if she did anything to his wife, he'll kill her. Meanwhile, Laura is busy watching a film with Nacho, and she's amazed by how nice he is to her. She even falls asleep in his arms. While Laura is relaxing, it turns out that Anna was actually being intimate with Massimo's twin brother, Adriano, and she did it all to make Laura leave the hotel. However, before her men could capture Laura, she escaped with Nacho, and this upsets Anna and Adriano a lot. Adriano, who's clearly on drugs, deals with his frustration by shooting his man. A few nights later, Laura is having a dream about making love to Nacho. However, her dream is shattered when a man tries to enter her bedroom. Nacho confronts the man and knocks him out, but Laura is scared by this incident. The next day, she asks Nacho what he really does to afford such a beautiful beach house. He tells her that his father is a rich man who owns all of this property, but he wants to follow his own path and live an independent life. After hearing this, Laura feels bad, and she thanks him for all his hospitality. He tells her that she doesn't need to worry about it, and that he wants to take her to a special place to cheer her up. And just like that, they get into his Mustang to take a trip. Meanwhile, her husband is driving around the island when he learns that his wife has left Sicily. This makes him agitated and really angry. Laura, on the other hand, rides a jet ski to get to a small cave where she spends a romantic evening with Nacho. When they go back to the island, however, Laura notices that Nacho is really upset after meeting an old man. He takes out his frustration by swimming in the ocean, and he's sitting on the beach when Laura comes up to check on him. This is when he decides to teach her surfing, and while he's doing that, they kiss for the first time. But back at the villa, Massimo is still worried about his wife. His concern for his wife turns to anger when he receives a strange text. He tells Dom to gather their men because they have to go somewhere. The next day, Laura has another romantic dream about Nacho, and this time she tells him about it after waking up. He likes hearing that and even cooks some food for her. After they're done eating, he tells her why he's been acting a little strange for the last couple of days. Apparently, they have to meet his father, and to make things worse, Massimo is also going to be there. This revelation is shocking for Laura, and she suddenly loses all trust in Nacho. She presses him to reveal who he really is, and he tells her that he's the son of another famous gangster, who is Massimo's biggest rival. He also tells her that he was tasked by his father to bring Laura to his hometown, but after meeting her, he fell in love with her, and now he feels bad for deceiving her. That evening, Laura and Nacho drive to his father's estate in the mountains. But as soon as they get there, two men take Laura away while Nacho goes to talk to his father. His father is telling Massimo that he kidnapped Laura to put a leash on Massimo, whose activities have spooked other gangsters. They're still discussing it when Nacho comes in and asks his father who those men were. This is when he finds out that those men didn't work for his father at all, And after learning that, he immediately goes to look for Laura with Massimo. Laura is inside a nearby mansion talking to Adriano. At first, she thinks that it's Massimo, but she soon realizes that it's actually Massimo's twin brother. Adriano explains to her that he will use her to take away Massimo's throne, because he is the one who deserves to be the leader of the gang. Their conversation is interrupted when Massimo and Nacho get there while holding their guns. Massimo is shocked to see Adriano and Anna. He knows their intentions and wants them to release his wife. At this point, Laura tries to run away from Adriano, but Anna shoots her in the back, and as she falls, Massimo shoots down both Anna and Adriano. He then quickly checks on his wife, who's lying there in a pool of blood. After seeing this, Nacho feels guilty, so he leaves them both in peace and walks away. The film ends with Massimo holding his wife's unconscious body.